All right, the last video it's gonna be a non-edited, but I will have it attached to this one. I'm gonna go ahead and just play this one from this from here, and then whatever else I was mentioning, you'll just hear that around the end after around 21 minutes and 25 seconds. The other clip should start. Now, in case you're wondering what happened, basically I got as I was doing the recording, basically the mirroring, right? I actually was able to catch them shutting down the battery, and you'll be able to easily see that it's basically just going down under 5%, under or over 5% actually. So it's going from 4 to 3 to 2 to 1, and it's just clocking down. Like it's not even trying to even last. It's just draining. So I was able to catch that bit of evidence. So I'm definitely going to have that clipped onto this vid. Other than that, I'm just going to go ahead and display this all the way through. The link to the channel, Look Out for Charlie, will be in the description. He has a lot of great content, a lot of good information that will definitely help a lot of people out.
In an artificially induced state of consciousness that resembles sleep. The movement was begun by a scientist who discovered, quite by accident, these signals being sent. We have been lulled into a trance. Please understand, they are safe as long as they are not discovered.
They want their weapons.
Look out for Charlie.
I want that son of a bitch dead. I want him dead.
So Vice and a lot of these other milquetoast media outlets have done hit pieces on RF targeting, targeted individuals. And it just goes to show, for one thing, that people need to quit using the term targeted individual, because these news sources always blur the line between gang stalking and RF targeting. And they are two completely different things. I don't even cover gang stalking on my channel at all. My channel has nothing to do with gang stalking. They are two completely different things, regardless of whether someone is experiencing both or not. My point is, in the end of all these hit pieces, you always get this guy that says, yeah, they believe that they're being hit with ELF weapons with absolutely no proof, and then they get like this smirk, like or a chuckle. Foolish mortals. Well, let's check this out. Here's the cattle cave of proof that ELF weapons are being used everywhere, every day. My personal favorite thing to do is to use other people's evidence. Things that are online, just random things. Here is a FA-18, and it's going to break the sound barrier. Now, if I was to tell somebody, hey, I think I hear a voice when the sound barrier breaks, they would look at you like you were nuts. Let's listen to it. So let's check out the audio. So here's the original audio clip. Just boost it up. I'm going to play it for you once.
Sorry about that. There it is. Sorry, that was actually the wrong video. But that one is still important. So I'm gonna leave that clipped in. I'm gonna leave the link to his channel, but the actual video that I wanted you guys to see was this one actually. Sorry about that.
We are living in an artificially induced state of consciousness that resembles sleep. The movement was begun by a scientist who discovered, quite by accident, these signals being sent. We have been lulled into a trance. Please understand, they are safe as long as they are not discovered.
They want their weapons.
Look out for Charlie.
I want that son of a bitch dead. I want him dead.
These are the types of cases that make my blood boil. This was a case a few years ago on Reddit a few years ago, where a woman started to record. She was hearing clicks and strange things in her room, and she started to record with a sleep recording app to catch you talking in your sleep or snoring or whatever. And she caught something where she believed she was asking somebody, "What are you doing?" And the male answers. And out came the simpletons with their explanations, which they said someone broke into her house and she was having a conversation with them and went back to sleep. And blah, 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 all the simpleton answers you could think of, and even the experts got involved. And I'm going to tell you right now, and this is from the bottom of my heart, you experts out there are fucking hack jobs. You are either total and complete hack jobs at what you do, or you're complicit in this shit. Because the speech experts got involved. Fucking clown world bullshit. You guys are like the psychic paranormal experts that they bring on fucking Ghost Adventures. So let's check this out. And I'm going to show you everything that they missed and all the spots where they could have realized that there wasn't a human talking at all through the whole recording. So let's start by me not pausing through this at all, and let's listen to the whole thing one time.
What are you doing?
Now, for all you hack jobs out there, you audio fucking hack jobs that got in on this, I'm going to show you what you missed and everything you missed. Here, this section right here, she talks about clicks that she was hearing, which is very similar to the Fry effect. Let's listen to it. Now, to the average ear, that could sound like just some rustling around. It's not. Directly after that is the hum of a low frequency. Then, after that, comes the quote-unquote female voice.
What are you doing?
Now, one thing that you have to remember, and I've been meaning to say this for a while, and I keep forgetting, is it's an excellent thing to train your ears with noisy music. Can you pick up the cymbals in noisy music? Just the cymbals. The bass line. Can you listen to, let's say, Queens of the Stone Age, rated R, without looking at the tracks and the information on the tracks, and find the alto or baritone sax that is hidden throughout the album? Can you find that, and can you hear it? Because not a lot of people can. Once you can do that, then you can really start to pick things out of audio. You have to train your ears to follow something through other noises and not mix those noises up with what you're hearing. Follow the frequency. So, after the female-y type voice, we have more noise here that comes up, a couple dB, a low tone, and now a series of well-timed clicks. Then a noise before the quote-unquote male voice. All right? All this is significant. Not just the female voice, the male voice, and then the male voice again. And this is where these experts have no idea what they're doing. Get the fuck out of here with your bullshit. You are terrible at your fucking jobs. Terrible at your jobs. Quit. Quit. The first section I'm going to go over is the very beginning. The clicks, the rustling. So let's check that out by itself. Here is stage 1 of that clip. It's not what it sounds like. Those are heterodyned ELF frequencies that are throwing off noises. Sounds a little bit different. That's stage, call it stage 2. Alright, now stage 3. Totally different, and now there's a female voice within that rustling. Let's loop it. Alright, now let's listen to just that female-y voice by itself. That was an ELF frequency that was pitched a little bit to reveal the female voice. Now, if I took this same clip and pitched it down, they are created in such a way that this could easily sound like a male voice. So this is not just some rustling around. These are voices, and it's not the female talking in the background of rustling, because these were ELF frequencies being tweaked out. So there's nowhere you can go with that, naysayers. Nowhere. Here's the kicker, because I am telling you, these are pulsed frequencies that are intended to say something to somebody. Here are the original clicks that were after the woman allegedly says, "What are you doing?" Okay, those are the original clicks. What are these clicks? These are syllables, pulsed. There's the ELF, and then there's a pulsing of the ELF that enters the human ear, the sinuses, everything. It's like having bone conduction headphones on while you're sleeping. And hey, you might not believe me, but we're going to check it out, and you're going to see what's under the initial pulsing. We get rid of that pulsing, the pop, 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 and let's see what's underneath it. I'm going to show you, and it's going to blow your mind. Right there is a robotic voice that says, "Commit suicide." I'm going to loop suicide right there. If you can't hear that, there's something wrong with you. I'm going to play the whole thing here again. Do you hear suicide in that? That's inside those clicks. That woman, bless her heart, is at least being targeted in her sleep, and so is her son. And like I say in all my videos, every fucking one, the only thing that comes out in this stuff is negativity. I'm going to show you way deep into the audio of these clicks. What's underneath suicide sounds like communication. Now let's listen to that again. Now why didn't you catch that, experts? You guys have no idea what the fuck you're doing at all. Now here's a different version of that clip. I want to show you just this part. So, not clicks. Let's check out the female voice. She says, "What are you doing?" Allegedly. What are you doing? Now, if these speech and audio experts had looked at this, a human voice, when they speak in a recording in spectral view, will look like a series of lines, like tones or a chord from a piano. Because your vocal cords are, X amount of notes, and it will make a series of lines in the recording. What you are seeing in this is a burst of noise with one tone. These weird frequencies around it just popping up here and there. And then a series of tones that should almost look like vocal pattern here until you go up and realize that this voice goes well into 20,000 hertz. No, it goes up to 15. I cut it. But it went into 20,000 hertz at one spot. And allegedly says, "What are you doing?" This is not a human voice in the room talking. And now we're going to get into it. If you isolate the female-ish note and play it by itself, it almost sounds like it's saying, "Where is Jeremy?" But it's not human. This is a digital ELF voice. And it stops there, and if you listen, this last bit right here is not a female voice, it's a male voice going brr, or a tone that sounds more like a male voice. Listen. This is the only part that sounds female-ish. And it's clearly technology and not a woman talking. God damn it. Now let's listen to this version. Here is the ELF. The ELF is following, extremely low frequency, is following that voice. So that's coming out of the woman's throat too? What is up with you people? So, it is not a female voice. It has nothing to do with a female voice. It is a generated voice that sounds female-ish. Okay, here's another kicker that just totally changes the game of this. And everybody from fucking Reddit and these types of websites should see this, should let it soak in before you open your fat mouths anymore. And I'm sorry, but seriously, some of your analysis is absolutely mind-blowing to me. Here's the original chunk of the male voice. Let's check it out. I'll loop it for a second. Now, people think it says, "Oh, lay down," or some bullshit, or whatever, like go back to sleep. Well, it doesn't. And if we get into that audio and tweak the frequencies, we can find out what's really there. Now, there's an ELF pulse here that turns into something else later. Let's check it out. That was tweaked and then pitched up. Okay, what did you hear there? It says, I think you have cancer. Let's loop it. We're going to move on to different stages. Now let's move on to stage 2, and let's check the same spot. It's right here. It sounds like, it says, I think you have, and then cancer is slower and pulsed. Have cancer. Now, let's play this version. Now let's play the next version. Think you have cancer. Now let's go to the next version. Audio experts. Right there. Think you have cancer. Now let's go to the next version. There's a finale to this. Now let's go to the final version. Think you have cancer. Now, what does the beginning, the ELF rumble, say on the final version? What does the ELF rumble say? It says you're dying. You're dying. It reinforces negativity and scares the shit out of people in their dreams. You can change people's dreams with this. Have you ever fallen asleep with the TV on and then you had your dreams directed by the television? One time I fell asleep with some lame-ass television channel on, and I was having dreams about jet planes, and I woke up and fucking Top Gun was on. Now imagine what you can do with this. You're dying. I think you're dying. I think you have cancer. Now let's go back to the original one here. So it says, you're dying. I think you have cancer. Now I want to show you what's in ELF and low frequency, other low frequency waves. So let's listen to the whole clip. Just the low frequencies. Now, let's listen to that whole clip, tweaked out, so you can kind of hear what's going on. Now remember, there's no voices there in the clicks, in the pops, in the rustling. There are no voices there. But suddenly, there are. So those are just the low-end frequencies in that clip, pitched up. Listen, if you're going to claim to be an expert in something to help somebody out, you better be a fucking expert in what you're doing and understand what you're doing. And these people clearly do not. Lady, if you're watching this, you have electromagnetic frequencies coming into your room that are affecting both you and your child. So when you hear these types of clicks and pops in a recording, they're not just clicks and pops. This is similar to the Fry effect. And what is going on is something completely different and over the heads of most capabilities unless you are schooled in what's going on. This is why some of you can hit record on any type of recorder and see the levels almost peak out, but yet you don't hear anything in the recording because this is ultrasonic and infrasonic sound. So Reddit, that whole Reddit op where they had people believing that someone broke into her house and scaring the shit out of her, I think she even moved, is total and complete bullshit. Some of you out there can enable cognitive dissonance all you want, but your kids are affected by this, and at some point, somebody you know is going to be majorly affected by this. And I'm telling you, it's hard at work right now. Look out for Charlie.
All right, that was the first video that I was meaning to show you guys before they interrupted the battery thing that was going on. I may have been, you're going to see the clip where they fucked with the battery, but that'll be at the end. I still want to show that other video that I clicked off of since, it was already there. So let's go ahead and show that one. Again, the link...
We are living in an art...
The link is going to be in the description for the channel, but I definitely felt the need to share this with, just to spread awareness about that this is happening. So, for the people who sit there and say that, you're hearing these voices and whatnot that's going on, if you're getting, inductions of like, well, not inductions, but like symptoms of tinnitus, there's definitely, it's either just going to be due to exposure of, some of the stuff that they have put out there. Because, by the way, I believe they're sending frequencies just about everywhere, considering the amount of stuff they got out there. It's happening to a lot of people, but at the same time, there are specific people who are, damn near everybody's being experimented on at this point. And pretty much nobody has given out consent to any of this. No one has. No one. And what makes matters worse is that we have people amongst us who knows that this is happening, and only to a certain degree that they know something is just not right. This happens to where a lot of the, the things go on to where, you got these people, which is why I showed that other guy's video, because it made a lot of sense, and that's what they do. They'll show up, they'll send agents in there, giving yourself, basically to character assassination. That puts people to the point to where they don't give a fuck, and then they're just going to go off and do exactly, whatever it is they're asked to do. And what's the end result of this? Well, illegal experimentation, covert drugging. By the way, the stuff that they drugged me with back when I was in the city, I only just realized this, but I believe that happened to me. Not even just then, it wasn't even just while I was aware. I believe that crap happened to me when I was way younger. Way, way younger. And I had absolutely no idea. I didn't even have any idea. So, to the people who are watching this, understand they definitely do experiment on kids. The same people who are most likely showing up to you saying, this person such and such. It's not to say we don't have any bad people out there, but we're past the point to where people can just, just look at things how they are and then just accept them at face value. There's too much covertness going on. There's too much stuff being hidden. And there's just way too much corruption out there. People need to wake the hell up. Because at this point, greed is going to be, one of the big undoings of of man themselves. That's going to be one of the biggest undoings is greed. People that that money people are doing this petty stuff for, that's just a sign that they are, they don't have the capacity to really question reality, and that's how. And there's a reason for that. It's because they're programmed. They're programmed to be either complicit, or they just are just that naive. And then we got people who really are who do know about this, who are victims, and then we got people who do know about this, but they're complicit with it. So it varies from person to person. But the whole thing, this whole system, it's a huge damn psyop. Because you see, when people start, when someone has these symptoms, right, and what do you think is going to happen when they try talking to, before all of this stuff became as, obvious as it is now? Think back how things used to be, right? What would happen if someone just came up to somebody saying, this is going on? Guess what? They either send you to a mental institution, or they always try to put you on some kind of medication. It's a freaking scam. It's a fucking scam. The whole damn thing is a scam. They're using that as an excuse to even further drug you to basically increase the effects, or to basically use you as a damn lab rat. And it's either people who just are so stupid that they don't know what they're, this is what I was talking about, the school system too. You go there and you're being told to learn something of what they are telling you to learn. But how can we really know that that's actually now, knowledgeable stuff? Stuff that really makes us truly makes us knowledgeable and educated. It's a damn program. You're being programmed to learn what you're told to learn. What makes you think they're going to, with as much control is going on, they're not going to let people figure out the real knowledge out there that exists. Maybe some of it is bits and pieces, but that documentary that I seen, I'll never forget the words that guy had said. Damn near just about every bit of information that exists within everywhere, within the school system, even the library. Just about all of it is misinformation. And the concept of that is that they got, false information mixed with actual, factual information. To make it matters worse, the same thing can be said about the articles out there too. They flood the internet with a lot of misinformation. They flood a lot of stuff with misinformation. It's all meant to drown out the truth. And once you find out the truth, you'll know when you find it. You'll know. Because don't be surprised if you end up going through the same stuff that most of us is going through once you really find the truth. They even flood our channels and the algorithms too. They send these agents to try to prevent your words from getting out. And then all of a sudden, as soon as, look at Gavin Long's situation. And just see how controlled that shit was, right? He was a target individual. And he was speaking out about it. He even, he knew the cops were heavily involved in this, and he knew, they were corrupt. They painted the guy off as a monster, right? They show as hell did that in the media. They really did. They painted him off as a monster, dude. No joke. And once you see the leaked footage, you start to understand, well, they're not, not even the people in the newsroom was being completely honest there. They're not being honest. Not even the police are being honest. When somebody feels the need, feels their life in danger, they feel the need to protect themselves, Considering how this is going, this is basically the whole situation of this. Just about every community, every neighborhood, every type of organization like the Neighborhood Watch, the police force, street gangs, anything like that, it doesn't matter. Even some church groups, okay? And I'm sorry to say this because I know there are some, people who are very well invested in their faith. It's not your fault. You know, so some of you have been deceived, some of you have been lied to and tricked, and you had absolutely no idea that those people were even capable of something like that. And that's the whole point. It's not meant for you. They fix it to where it's not meant for you to see it for what it is. They beam this stuff on people, triggering different behavioral patterns, constantly trying to trigger different actions, different desires, different everything. All kinds of stuff. And I can only imagine how many people ended up dead, imprisoned, and either that or just framed in so many ways. I can only imagine how many people lost their entire life. It doesn't matter whether you know how it goes, you still lost your life as a result of this madness that's going on. Let me oh wait, no, I already am on the video. Okay, good. I'm gonna play this in a minute, but I just need to, man, dude. The just about every single group in these neighborhoods, Neighborhood Watch, some church groups, are heavily involved in this. Very heavily involved and invested too. Your internet service provider is involved. Your cellular internet service provider is involved. The police are involved, the government, the FBI. This whole damn thing is a hidden operation of illegal, unethical experimentation on the human race. That's it. I have to say the human race because it isn't just people in the U.S. that's going through this. It's people all around the world that's dealing with this. Everybody is dealing with this. A lot of people, and we do have a portion of people who know this is happening, and we got a portion of people who are just complicit with corruption and just making it, a quick buck, and they do not even care if it means fucking with people. I've showed in the video as a warning to these perpetrators. I know how to handle scenarios like that. This is going to be the only warning you're going to get. That type of manipulation does not work on me. You could try, but you're going to eventually find yourself getting yourself in trouble as a result. So I did my best to give the warning out about that. And I gave a prime example for other people to use those tactics in an attempt to defend themselves as well. Because, you got to remember, the whole thing is just to get you to set yourself up. That's it. That's all what it is. And it makes it difficult, very difficult, to defend yourself in scenarios like that. Whenever you try to go to sleep, whenever you're just trying to do something, you got to deal with these damn bastard-like frequencies being beamed on you day to day. You don't want to deal with any of this. You don't want this, but they still do it because they're so damn wicked. Money has an ability to do good things, but it also has the ability to bring the worst out of people. You see people just contribute to certain things, becoming the workers of iniquity. Some of these people who contribute into gang stalking, the way I see it, and I look at it different perspective. Some of these people are given the wrong. They probably don't even know the full extent of what this operation is. But at the same time, you can't trust this situation because they have these agents. You can't trust it because you don't know what these people may know and what they may not know. That's why I treat the situation and did it this way. I walked around with a sign that, and I said this before, but I'm going to say it once more. I walked around with a sign that had all the channels of where, the information that they were trying to hide from people. And I said, you know what? The whole seed thing's a fake, or, it's a hoax and a scam. And just check these channels out for the information for what they are not telling you. Guess what? My channel was on there too. So what was going on with me, the people who they lied to and paid off, they saw that and saw exactly what was going on. That's what I did. Be creative. Get yourself make yourself a hat, make yourself a shirt, something to spread the word out about it. It could be something as common as that, because I'm telling you, some of these perpetrators that they send towards you have absolutely no idea what's going on. That's a prime example because I've showed videos that has happened. The situation with Nappy Headed Roots, he found what, like 2 to 3 people that did that. But at the same time, you have to you got to be careful because you never know. The whole damn thing is just basically nothing more for just a huge operation for reactions, and it does not mean, well, it doesn't matter whether those reactions are positive or negative. Now I'm not finna ramble anymore. I'm gonna go ahead and play this video for you all. Yeah.
Artificially induced state of consciousness that resembles sleep. The movement was begun by a scientist who discovered, quite by accident, these signals being sent. We have been lulled into a trance. Please understand, they are safe as long as they are not discovered.
They want their weapons.
Look out for Charlie.
I want that son of a bitch dead. I want him dead.
So Vice and a lot of these other milquetoast media outlets have done hit pieces on RF targeting, targeted individuals. And it just goes to show, for one thing, that people need to quit using the term targeted individual, because these news sources always blur the line between gang stalking and RF targeting. And they are two completely different things. I don't even cover gang stalking on my channel at all. My channel has nothing to do with gang stalking. They are two completely different things, regardless of whether someone is experiencing both or not. My point is, in the end of all these hit pieces, you always get this guy that says, yeah, they believe that they're being hit with ELF weapons with absolutely no proof, and then they get like this smirk, like or a chuckle. Foolish mortals. Well, let's check this out. Here's the cattle cave of proof that ELF weapons are being used everywhere, every day. My personal favorite thing to do is to use other people's evidence. Things that are online, just random things. Here is a FA-18, and it's going to break the sound barrier. Now, if I was to tell somebody, hey, I think I hear a voice when the sound barrier breaks, they would look at you like you were nuts. Let's listen to it. So let's check out the audio. So here's the original audio clip. Just boost it up. I'm going to play it for you once. Okay, here is where the sound barrier breaks. Let's listen to this after I've adjusted it to hear the ELF. So, no more sound barrier breaking, just a voice. Just a voice talking straight up against the microphone is almost what it sounds like. This is from the ELF. It's nobody talking over a loudspeaker. Let's listen to it again. So, to the naysayers, what's up? That's right as the sound barrier breaks. Over all those decibels, there's a voice riding on it, piggybacking.
All right, I'm still gonna play the rest of this, but there's just one thing I wanted to add. As well as these things are being then projected, we know that they utilize satellites in the direct energy torture that goes on. We do know that there is actual handheld devices that these people who do this are using. We know that, and I know for a fact because there would be times where, back when I was in the city, You know, I would basically just be walking, and all of a sudden, somebody be doing. It's like they're doing a drive-by, but I'll be just immediately shot with a huge amounts of radiation, and I couldn't make heads or tails of what was going on. By the way, this happened even at the job I was working at. They would send these perpetrators. One of them was actually trying to really, make damn certain it didn't get seen on camera too. The guy was like hunched over a little bit, trying to cover something up, and then at the last second, boom, it happened. And after that, he just took off. I was in like the far end area of the warehouse when this happened. Most of the other workers was on break, so it seemed way too obvious. So now you know why I'm not too comfortable with working in an establishment out there in the city anymore. Not with, especially with what's going on now. Dude, I can't. The amount of desperation they tried on me when I was in the city, I'm gonna tell you exactly what they did. They tried sending this guy, right? They tried sending this guy towards me, trying to actually say, hey man, I got these drugs for sale, right? They actually dared to send a dude towards me like that, right? And this is my warning to everybody else. When someone like that shows up, don't say a word, but make damn certain you got an audio recorder, okay? Make damn certain of that. But anyway, they sent, this was back before I made it to my destination when I made it into Texas, right? This is like shortly after, within the next, I want to say like the next day after I got dropped off by the Greyhound. They, while I was basically just minding my own business in my tent, they sent a guy towards me doing that. And I knew better. I knew exactly what to do. I didn't even respond. I didn't say anything to him. I had protection, but I left it at that. Another scenario, people, they will try to use, the whole C virus as an attempt to set you up as well. Don't be surprised about that. They tried that around 8 times since I was in the city. 8 times, and it didn't work because I wasn't stupid. And in the last attempt, that was the most desperate thing they've ever tried. That was the most desperate thing they have ever tried. I couldn't even believe it. But I knew better. And now the guy could see my sign at that time when I was still in the city. He could see the sign. He's seen everything that was on it, but he still participated in this. Another thing, the people who they it wasn't even just them, right? It wasn't just them, and it was also even the police was acting out too, because I was basically in my tent. But here's the deal, though: like they can't really f with it is not necessarily considered. Well, I don't know. I don't know how you would really look at this. They would show up, because I remember somebody else was talking about that. Like they'll come up with this crummy excuse saying, "Well, like you can't just live out in a tent just anywhere." I didn't just go anywhere. I made certain that where I went was was attached not onto anybody's property, so there were no houses around the area. The police didn't offer any explanation as to why they wanted me to move my tent. I never moved it and I never took it down. But they, whenever I I had my recording equipment going. Each time I would try to talk to them about it, they would just take off. They wouldn't even get into a conversation about any of it. They did this like 3 to 4 different times, and I never got an explanation. So it was pretty obvious it was just a bunch of BS. They didn't really do anything. They never got out of the car. They just showed up, used the loudspeaker to do that. It was just a whole harassment attempt. And then they also sent a woman and some guy, both in masks, with some freaking McDonald's in their hand. And I'm like, I'm not eating that. No. And they going like, hey, we got some food here. Did you, we got some extra food here. Did you want it? And I'm like, no. I didn't say it aggressively. I said it calmly. And you got to treat the situation like that, because, these mind games that they play on you, you got to be very aware of this. You're being hit with these ELF frequencies that basically try to program you. This is being done in your sleep. This is being done while you're awake. Now, at the same time this is happening, they're also sending these provocateurs if you are being targeted. They're sending these provocateurs to try to basically pretend, basically use street theater against you to try to trick you. The best way to deal with this is to be very decisive with your tactics. Be very decisive and be very spontaneous. Don't be, don't be loud. Don't be rude, and don't, you can basically have fun with the situation if you want to, but you also got to remember they're looking to always put you in an aggravated state, always try to give off the appearance that, that you're basically a problem, that you're, you're trying to start something, you're elevating a problem, or you're just causing some type of issue, or you're basically pose as an immediate threat. This is the picture that they try to paint when they mess with you, okay? But again, the torture, the direct energy torture and the ELF frequencies that are being beamed on you those are not coming from the gang stalkers. That's coming from another team that could be either like on the outside of the building that you're in, or they could be like they could be like miles away, and they're basically uploading this stuff through a lot of the equipment that picks up frequencies. Your phone can pick up the frequencies and send a frequency. Satellites can pick up frequencies. Antennas, same thing. But remember that animation that I showed you guys, and I think it was either on this channel or the Mischievous M channel. It was an animation of an anime, and it basically showed this covert corruptive group using people that they call porters as transceiver carriers, right? So I believe that some of these gang stalkers are used for that perspective, just for that exact purpose. But just about anybody could be, just the phone could be used for that, But the signal's only going to be so strong. Haven't you seen the technology that they got out there, to where you can basically plug in an antenna into your phone? Yeah, they got that. So it's also basically meant to screw with you too, The whole thing is out there to just mess with you. It's a complete mind game. And again, the only time they will ever show you anything, right? It's to deceive you. Don't buy into that. Just like when I was transporting that lumber back when I was in back when I was in Baton Rouge, you guys saw the videos that I made for that. On my way, as I'm getting closer and closer, they kept sending these goons in their trucks asking, do you need a lift? Do you need help? Do you need help? It was bullshit. They were never going to help me. They basically wanted to just get me to agree to that, just for them to basically say, oh, no, I changed my mind. I'm not going to help you. It's to try to get me to feel a sense of despair. They tried this crap several different times. I know the game. I know what it is, and I'm not falling for it. Why would I be despair over materialistic stuff? I'm not. Okay? Once I leave this earth, that crap stays. All of it. I'm not taking any of that with me. No. I'll use it, to basically benefit myself while I'm still here. But that's about it. I'm not finna give my all to any materialistic item of any kind. No. Absolutely not. And you see, I came to a realization of something on that same day, right? On that same day when they basically ran that massive psyop. They didn't want me leaving, and they did not want me living off the land. I tell you that much, because I'm telling you, that decision for me was set in stone. I was just dead on that. So what happened when they, when I basically, had that cart collapsed? I've already told you guys about that too. They sent that guy up there. Played the script. Again, the people he called were all agents. They were never gonna help out anything. They're not. Not even he was willing to help. It was all just a basic scene. That's it. It wasn't. There was never any intention to help me at all. None. You gotta always be wary of this. People who just so happen to show up at the right time. Those are people who were basically involved in your targeting. Okay? So he plays the script, and at the end of everything, he asked me this question. You know, if you were to die today, would you go to heaven or go to hell? I told him I'm going straight to heaven. God is not finna blame any of. I don't believe God would blame any of us for this crap that we've been through, man. Nobody consented to any of this. The only time where I believe you would ever go straight to hell is when you become fully, not just blasphemous, but like you, not only it's different, that you don't know, and it's another thing that you do know, right? God, technically, I believe God showed me all this stuff was happening for a reason. I went through these experiences because I was finding stuff out, because God was showing me a lot of things. Because if He hadn't, I probably would have been, lost like the rest of these idiots out there following the system, being, just allowing themselves to be programmed to do whatever it wants. I am damn grateful to at least have some kind of resistance against this mess. I am damn grateful for that. I believe all of us should be grateful for that, because think about it. Look at how far gone these individuals are. Those people who have who think they know so much about this, but they really don't, and then they participate in these ill acts that basically puts us through many of these things, as far as both the the covert illegal surveillance, the the gaslighting, and all these other things that go on, right? Now again, to quote, look out for Charlie. Again, his channel is strictly dealing with the ELF frequencies and all that stuff that's dealing with that's actually allowing the connections as far as these frequencies that are being beamed towards you, as far as the the nano, all of that stuff, as well as how to get rid of it. That's what the channel's at. To quote his statement, there could be some instances where he does talk about other things. In the end, the way a person manages their channel, that's entirely up to them. I just want to just set the record straight on there that I'm not implying anything that this channel is meant for like talking about game. No, it's not. Okay. So, man, dude, man. I'm curious though, if there's a way for people to basically beam off frequencies, there's got to be a way to trace them or to track them. Something. There's got to be some kind of way to do that, because there's ways to track radio, rogue radio towers. There's a way to do that. Radio frequencies. There's ways to track that and trace it. So can we do that for low vibration? We're even able to track and trace these low emission devices that they use. So if we can do that, and also, get a map out on where these perpetrators are using those apps. I'm grateful for what those apps do, but here's the other thing I'm worried about. The whole concept of, they got to know your daily routine. They got to map out, exactly certain things. All the time we're using, one thing I will never forget, all the time we are using these apps, it requires you to have Bluetooth on. It requires you to have Wi-Fi on. It requires you to have GPS on, okay? All of that, is, the Wi-Fi is basically radiation on you. And, they can also be, basically hone in on that. The GPS is giving them another, method of access to basically track you. If not, if anything, it's making it more accurate. And then you got Bluetooth, which is also, just as bad as anything else. This is why most TIs don't ever get, Bluetooth headphones, because basically they can channel it through there. But man, it's so much that I really would love to talk about, but I need to go ahead and finish this and just go ahead and play the rest of this video. After this, I guess maybe I'll have that other video where they basically ended the battery, clipped ahead of this one instead of after it. And then I'll just have this one go on as it is when it starts.
On the burst. So, what's up? told people that when people are sleeping at night and you are breathing or snoring, the ELF is sending audio to you. You know, Vice or some media outlet might say, huh, that's ridiculous. ELF can't do that. Let's check out some audio from someone who subscribes to the channel. So what happens is when people exhale, if you watch them, if they're talking in their sleep all the time, when they exhale, that's when they talk or move their lips or just don't do anything. There's no information coming in on the exhale. The information comes in on the inhale, always. So let's listen to this audio clip from a subscriber and just listen to this is the original, just the breathing while they're sleeping. Okay, now let's listen to the analysis of stage 1 of just this clip here. This is going to blow your mind. This is stage 1. Just wait for stage 2. Okay, you get the point on that. Stage 1. Now, this is stage 2. This is 100% proof that audio is being sent to him on the inhale. On the inhale. Ready? Did you hear that? Let's listen to that again. But they don't have proof when they talk about this stuff. Let's listen to that again. This is why they pretend that this channel doesn't exist. By the way, this guy hasn't been drinking. And it says, might as well pour me a drink. Right there says, pour me a drink. As I always say, always negative. Let's keep going. Let's listen to that one again. Fucking judge me? Making some techno. That's not him talking in his sleep either. So it's you heard the original. My new technique to analyzing and tweaking this audio to get the frequencies up is so much different now that I almost don't consider the stuff that I had before evidence. Let's listen to this part again real quick. Where are these people now? Don't they want to talk about this stuff? Do you hit these on it? This guy's got all the proof he needs now. So, if this guy is waking up in the morning and telling people, it feels like somebody was talking to me all night, he's got 100% proof that they were when he was inhaling. These are some of my favorites because in the past, people have said ha ha ha, that is wind in a mic, you fool, stuff like that. And this is a brand new clip that I found, and it was during a guy recording strange sounds heard around the world, and he was recording the hum. But what is even more interesting than the hum itself is the quote-unquote wind in the mic that he was picking up, right? Because it's not wind, but I've heard it a million times from these guys.
Oh man, I really want to allow this a lot more of it, but I've already reached an hour here, and I've actually got to clip that other one onto this. If I record this any farther, then the video's actually going to be split due to the app's settings. So I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. Again, the link is going to be in the description, so you can go directly to this channel. But this is definitely going to be a technique a lot of fellow individuals who are targeted are going to definitely find useful in learning. Start looking, my best advice to give you really is to start looking for maybe there's some devices out there. I guess you could, just like he said earlier, like you could use basically like any device, any recordable device, but I don't advise anybody use a phone. Use something that they're not going to be able to, hack into and mess with, as you will see in that clip that I'm going to have on here when they mess with the battery. Don't have it to where, they can basically just do that. This is why they don't care if anything, they want you to always use a phone. I've already went to the discussion about the cell phone and what it does. Honestly, that's one of the, biggest enemies of humanity is the damn cell phone. It provides a lot of usefulness, I know, and a lot of communication capabilities, and it's practically like a mini computer in the palm of your hands, but the sinister intent that was implemented into this technology outweighs the goodness of what it does. So I hope a lot of people understand that. Don't feel the need to just look at just certain individuals for solutions either. Try to find some for yourself as well. What works for you. Try doing that. But also, it's very imperative to. Because I'm not joking, just about every damn thing to have to deal with this program is all negative. Every single bit of it. Like I said, negativity and too much of negativity is very unhealthy. So think about it. You're not only dealing with negativity from these perps, if you are being, stalked and psyoped and gaslighted, you also got to deal with the negativity of the frequencies as well. So it's like amplifying all this negativeness, all of this negative energy that they're just trying to implement. You must drain that negative energy when you can. It's that's the healthiest thing for you to do. The healthiest thing is to always maintain a proper balance. I pray for both the safety and well-being of all of you out there. I send both my loves and prayers. As always, stay safe, stay strong.